Everybody must get stoned.
9 billion names of pod.
From Atlanta, the city that naps like a champ. It's the 9 Billion Names of Pod with Dan Bauman and Michael Reed. I'm Dan Bauman. I'm thinking that a jeweled gauntlet is just a wee bit too fancy for my taste. So let's talk about some stuff.
Let's do that.
So once again, in true Marvel fashion, right after DC releases their movie that does okay, they drop a trailer that sets the world on fire.
We'll let you have this for a couple of weeks.
Couple of days, man.
Well,
it was like 9 days.
Was it 9 days?
Something like that. Yeah, it came out like
Okay.
last Wednesday, I want to say, and Justice League had been out for a week and a half about. So, they are just one-upping them left and
I used to think
right.
that Marvel was Coke to DC's Pepsi, and I think that's not the case at all. It's Marvel's Coke to DC's like RC Cola. I mean, you heard of it. Doubt you could find it, but it's there. It's not completely gone.
Yeah.
It's just, no one says, give me a Jack and RC. No.
No
one ever will say that.
No one's ever said a Jack and Pepsi either.
Oh, God. I don't think I've ever had an RC Cola, so I don't know, but Pepsi is far too sweet.
See, I'm from the Northeast, so I grew up on Pepsi, not on Coca-Cola. And we would drink RC Cola. I think my grandparents would drink RC Cola. And
That sounds like a grandparenty thing to do.
it totally is, yeah.
Would you like a Fresca, Danny?
Yeah, we didn't do the Fresca. We would do and my grandmother always had, you've heard of Schlitz beer?
I have.
This is Schmidt's beer. Okay, it was these weird little stubby bottles.
It sounds like some kind of a parody brand that you would find in like a
on the
Kevin
Simpsons
Smith
or
film.
something. Yeah, no, it was, and my cousin and I used to steal them and like try to drink them, and they were awful. And so yeah, we had all those odd things. But I grew up drinking Pepsi, and realizing when I left New York that Coca-Cola was the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah, I grew up. My dad was a total Pepsi drinker. I think it's a better tasting. If you're gonna drink a cola beverage just by itself, Pepsi is superior,
Right.
in my opinion. But when you mix it with anything, Pepsi's gone.
Right.
You can't. But anyway, hey, let's continue. Let's talk about Slice, and let's talk about
Mountain Dew.
Let's talk about new recipe Coca-Cola.
Crystal Pepsi.
Oh, God.
But yes, going back, so Marvel dropped the Infinity War trailer, and man, it's
chock-a-block with OMGs.
Yeah, it's exactly what DC was trying to do with Justice League. And again, they still are just playing catch up.
Marvel built it slowly.
Yes.
I mean, they tiered it. They built it slowly up to Avengers, and then at the same time they were doing Avengers, they were building other properties so that could they do another tier? Yes, they could.
Yeah.
It's Infinity War. So you thought the Avengers coming together was like, oh my God, they're together. It's awesome. Now they're together and everyone else is coming together. And it's getting even bigger.
Right. They just did it so elegantly. Like I've said numerous times, they just threw that dopey little tag at the end of Iron Man with Nick Fury. As I honestly think it was a throwaway. I think it was just a little thing to appease Sam Jackson.
No, I would disagree. I would say that it was testing, maybe not testing the waters, but saying
agree.
If this does very well, we could go from here and do great things.
Let's put this in for the fans just in case.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they had any like actual plans that it could work. And once Iron Man was such a phenomenal hit, I mean, it took them so completely by surprise that, of course they were hoping that it was going to be big.
Right.
And this is still pre-Marvel films. I mean, this was like they just decided before Marvel Studios, I should say.
Marvel Studios.
And it was such a big hit that they were like, okay, maybe. And they slowly,
threw a little thing in here, and then they threw a little thing in the Hulk, in the Incredible Hulk. Everyone forgets that there's a tag at the end of the Hulk, and Robert Downey Jr. shows up and talks to, at the time it was Edward Norton, who was supposed to be the Hulk.
Well, if he wasn't such a dick,
Yeah.
then great actor, but apparently a real dick to work with.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like his character in Birdman, it's like, you know what? That's kind of him playing himself, from what I understand.
And so they slowly built it over time. And
Well, how far out are we from the first Iron Man? I want to say, are we a decade yet?
yeah, I believe
About a decade?
Yeah, 2006, 2007, something like
Something,
that.
yeah.
And
So wow, it's almost like they took their time, built it slowly, learned from the few mistakes they've made.
Yeah.
Some of them recently, like the Inhumans.
well, and that was like, again, that's like another. I don't want to say throwaway, but they're at the point where they can kind of take those kind of risks.
It's like, sure, we'll throw 60 million off on something. Oh, it didn't work. Yeah, whatever.
And like they're so diversified now. I mean, there's Inhumans, there's Agents of Shield, there's the Runaways, which is also on Hulu. They're throwing. Yeah, there's another
Never even
Marvel
heard
show.
of.
Yeah, it's a Marvel show that just dropped. Like, I think they're 2-3 episodes in on Hulu.
So is the theme song "Cherry Bomb"?
I
Does
hope
Joan
so.
Jett make an appearance? Is Lita Ford gonna kick some ass?
No, it's from what I gather, and I never read that book. It's a bunch of kids who realize that their parents are supervillains or something, so they take off and try to, which is kind of a cool idea.
Now that's a cool idea. If it was some kids realize they have superpowers, like
Yeah, it's been done. It's so been done, and I think they do. I don't know. They might have powers or something, but that's not the focus. It's we got to get away from our crazy parents.
all right, add a new. I mean, obviously, there's only so much new territory you can go in that universe without leaving that universe.
Yeah,
That kind of the superhero genre. I mean, my big complaint about Justice League is the complaint I probably will have at the end of Infinity War. All right, there's an evil, there's some magic shit you got to get, and there's but what makes it an enjoyable film is the dialogue, the patter,
the characters,
the characters that have been adequately built up over time, so the stakes are higher when they lose, win, draw. Who knows what's going to happen?
We don't give them a 10-minute setup in one movie.
I mean, if you could do a 3-sentence summary of every Marvel film, and I'd fall asleep 2 sentences into the third listing.
Right.
But it's the performance by Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
It's the zippy writing. It's the stuff that that's what makes it interesting.
It's exactly the issue I had with Batman v Superman, and I've said this plenty of times. What they did in Batman v Superman was they pulled a storyline and images from The Dark Knight Returns, and the reason The Dark Knight Returns itself is so powerful, other than being a brilliant piece of work, is that you have two characters who have fought side by side for 30 years in the comics, 70 years in real life.
But we're still in Earth 1. They're probably in Earth 92 right now.
Oh, there's plenty of Earth. And so there is history and there's backstory and you do that right out of the gate, and it's flat. There's no stake. There's no I don't like him because I don't like him. It's not that. It's we've been soldiers together for decades and we can fight. And that's why the Infinity War, like there's a scene in the trailer where they have to be in Wakanda, and Black Panther is going on a whole thing, and he says
it's a hidden city.
It's a hidden city.
That's where they're going to retreat. I almost guarantee you they're going to retreat from there after having their ass handed to them by Thanos
the first time, yeah.
And then they're going to come back and won't defeat. Either they're going to banish him and think that he's gone, or defeat him and think, but of course he'll be back. Of course he will.
I think this is a two-parter. I believe that was the original plan. I don't know if that's still the plan.
They haven't said part 1 or part 2.
They had way back. Like back
Okay.
when they announced the big giant slate.
Need to
of
find.
everything.
Need to check and see what the runtime on this is. If it's 90 minutes, I'm going to eat a bullet.
No, it's 2 hours plus.
Yeah.
The other thing is why I say they have to be in Wakanda, because Wakanda's biggest import is vibranium, which is
Import or export?
or export, I should say. Yeah,
Yeah.
is that's where vibranium is mined and forged, and that's where his shield came from anyway.
Ah.
So that's why he says, "Get this man a shield."
Cap is shieldless at the moment.
At the moment, yeah, and he's still, if you remember, he's still like a fugitive, more or less. He
Well, that's what
bugged
Hannibal
out of-
Buress said. Isn't he a war criminal now? I don't know. I got to show these videos.
Yeah.
You know, the state requires it. Like,
Right.
Oh, see, that's that little touch there with the casting. With Hannibal Buress is, I wouldn't say A-list. He's a solid B-list right now. And he said, "Sure, I'll come in and do a day on on what was this? Was this Winter Soldier? No, not Winter Soldier. It was
Civil War.
Civil War.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it. That's how you do it, DC. You just sorry.
Well, DC, again, I think DC, the only course correct they can do at this point is they need to lean into the things that they're good at. They have to stop trying to do exactly what Marvel did. They have to find their own way. And I think what they need to do is, I don't want to say abandon, but don't lean so heavily on the shared universe. We're going to make Justice League and put all the characters. Make movies. And also, the one thing
Which is what Marvel did.
exactly.
They built their universe slowly, deliberately, and tied it together in a way that suggested what might come. And if they don't make that film, it's not going to make the film they did make. Like, that doesn't make any sense anymore. They just did enough to lean towards, like, oh, I wonder if that's going to come next.
Right.
And then it would or it
And
wouldn't.
then they had a plan.
Right, exactly.
And their biggest hit still is
Wonder
Wonder
Woman.
Woman, because it was a movie with a beginning, a middle, and an end about one character with a little tiny touch at the beginning of what happened previously. Just Bruce sending the picture to her.
Right.
One little bridge, but it had nothing to do with anything else other than we told this character's story, and it worked, and it was great. And
Gal Gadot. Oh, actually, it is Gal Gadot.
it's Gadot, I think.
Yeah, it just sounds right to say Gal Gadot, but she's not French.
She's not French. She's Israeli.
She's
yeah.
Israeli, so it just Okay.
And that's also what I think they need to do is one edge up they've got on Marvel right now was Wonder Woman. Marvel still has not done a female-centric film. I mean, they have strong female characters.
They're strong, but they haven't been brought to the fore.
They have not done a central character.
It hasn't been brought to the fore in a way where you go, oh, I want to see a standalone. Now, you could say, Scarlett Johansson, was she a Scarlet?
Black Widow.
Black Widow.
She should have had a movie by now.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like the
Scarlet Witch. I mean, there's a story there.
They're
but
doing Captain Marvel with Brie Larson as Captain Marvel.
Okay.
But we're still 2 years out from that.
Yeah.
DC has they're missing many opportunities because they have Wonder Woman. I mean, Wonder Woman 2 is on the slate, and we're going. They have Batgirl. They have Harley Quinn, which is arguably the most popular, at least female character, if not one of the most popular characters
in the DC universe.
In the DC universe, in comic books, really.
Well,
she's up there with a lot. She's very, very, very popular, and they have those. They had the plans for the Gotham Sirens, which was Harley and Ivy and Catwoman and Batgirl. They need to lean into that, and just
because that's the void.
That's the one thing that
in the
hasn't been
Marvel
done.
universe that they got a couple strong female characters, but they're part of an ensemble and they're not featured in any demonstrative way.
Right. Marvel's taking the diversity with Black Panther. They're gonna crush it with that.
Oh, I have a feeling that movie is going to be huge.
It's going to be
not ridiculously huge, but it's going to be huge.
No, it's going to be ridiculously huge.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely.
You think so? Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
First of all, it looks amazing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
just the fact of what they're doing with it, having a predominantly African American cast, hasn't been done before. And
in a superhero film.
In a superhero film, yeah. Well, yes, it's been done, but in a cartoony superhero movie, it hasn't been done. We have a handful of characters here and there.
If you're thinking that the African American, audience is going to flock to that, I don't know. I'm suspicious of any plans that any group that you pander to, in this case it's not pandering, but I mean that you're aiming towards, is going to go, oh, you're doing this for me, well, I will reward you.
I think it will pay off, though. I think there will definitely be an
uptick. It's gonna do fine.
And there are plenty of African American comic book fans, tons and tons and tons, and there are a lot of characters that don't get the, there's a lot of really, I don't want to say cringeworthy, but there are some characters from the 70s, and every one of them has the name Black in their name, Black Lightning and Black Panther, and we got to kind of get away from that.
It's like, yeah, they're more than just the amount of, melanin in their skin.
Yeah.
It's a little more than that. But, okay, we'll start with Black Panther because there is an actual panther that is called a Black Panther. And it's, we'll go from there.
And it's a legacy character.
But if you continue in this vein, it's like, we've invented a new character. It's called, Black Kick-Asser guy.
Yeah,
and like,
I think there's a Black Tornado and Black Lightning.
What? You know what? If there's another character called just the Tornado, okay, if you have to...
There's a Red Tornado. Well, that's...
If you have to call... If there's already a tornado, all right, call it Black Tornado. But if there's no character called the Tornado, don't call the first one Black Tornado,
especially if he's an African American.
Exactly. Yeah, it's See,
that's one thing I like that they did on the Flash TV show. Barry Allen is the Flash, and his girlfriend / future wife, Iris West, and Barry Allen's mother was killed. He was raised by his neighbor Joe West, and he falls in love with his daughter. And they made Joe West and Iris. They made them African American. They made Jesse L. Martin plays her and plays him, and Candace Patton plays her, and doesn't change a thing at all about the universe. And it was a beautiful thing that they did. I'm really happy that they did that. But we're getting into when we get to Black Panther. That's definitely a shift for Marvel, and for comic book movies. And going back, that's what DC needs to do.
You know what the final frontier is going to be?
What?
For quote unquote, I guess, targeted subgenre, not subgenre, but character type. We have male superheroes, female superheroes, but we need a gay superhero.
I believe
in the Marvel movies.
Oh, in the movies, yes.
I mean, I'm sure there's...
In the books, there are a few.
Yeah.
There are a handful, and they've been over the last, 10 years or so. There have been a bunch more that
as long as it's handled like, I fight with my gayness. No. That is not... No,
it just happens to be.
Yeah, exactly. At the end of the big epic battle where he or she kicks massive ass, this, character will kiss his or her girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, and it'll be like, oh, it's gay. Okay. Doesn't change anything. Still kicked ass.
I think in the comics, Harley is bisexual.
I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah, I believe she's just fluid, and
Well, let's see that in something.
Yeah.
I mean, not, bow, chicka, bow, bow.
Right. I believe Harley and Ivy hooked up for a while in the books, and which is great. We need, I agree. I
can see the dialogue, and Harley's like, damn, redheads be crazy, and this is me talking here.
Yeah.
All right, enough of diversity 101 in the superhero universe. Let's get to this universe of Infinity War.
Once again, Marvel crushed it. I mean, this trailer is insane.
Who is being cradled at the beginning by Iron Man?
Don't know. Well, he had in I want to say Ultron. He had a vision of a lot of dead superheroes.
Well, of course, because Marvel knew what they were going to do 5 years before they did it.
right,
You
and
know,
they knew
They didn't rush out like, we got to do it. We got,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
We will serve no superhero movie before it's time.
Right, and it's kind of I think there should be a pool of some sort of who's going to make it in and out.
A
who's gonna-
Deadpool.
A Deadpool, so to speak. Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe we'll do that and have a bingo card of dead superheroes.
The key thing is to watch some interviews and see who's looking to move the hell on.
Oh yeah.
I don't think they're going to kill off RDJ, but they may take him out of the game.
Yeah.
Because he's so huge. He may I'm sick of it, and then be like Christy McVie and come back 20 years later like, I want to tour with a band again.
Well, he after Iron Man 3, he was like, I'm done, I'm out, and he's been in every Marvel movie since, just about.
Even in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And, the two of them kind of got a relationship, kind of a friendship, a little mentor-mentee thing going there. That would raise the stakes. If Peter Parker bites it in Infinity War, that would be pretty hardcore.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I can see Sony going, what? We gave him back to you and you killed him?
God damn you.
But then again, name the superhero that has been killed and has never come back. Aside from what's his name, Quicksilver.
Yeah, well, he hasn't come back yet.
Yeah, that's we could be in our 80s like, oh, they're bringing back Quicksilver. You know? But nobody's dead until they're
nobody's ever really dead.
Right, exactly.
Except Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben's the only one who never makes back.
All of a sudden, Uncle Ben comes back, and Peter's like, oh, I don't feel the need to be Spider-Man anymore. My whole, my
Uncle Ben and the Waynes, they never come back.
Oh.
They're the only ones who never make it back.
Martha. What? You called? Oh. I guess I'm going to hang up my cowl now and, take you to brunch, Ma.
But going back to speaking about Tony Stark and Spider-Man, if you notice in the trailer, he's wearing the high-tech...
Of course, with the glowing eyes and the whole bit.
He's wearing the Iron Spider suit.
Yep.
And so we're getting all of that shit in this movie.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're getting everybody.
Yeah.
The tag at the end. Guardians.
Who are you
Who the hell
guys?
are you guys? And no wisecracks, just,
Yeah.
Now, from what I understand, timeline-wise... The events of Guardians 2 take place before Thor Ragnarok.
Okay.
And I think we're going to see a teenage Groot in
We are, from what I understand.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a whole comedy gold right there.
Yeah.
They got to be careful. They got to balance. There's so much going on. It's like juggling 40 plates and 3 of them are knives.
Right.
You just got to be very careful how you balance the pathos, the comedy.
I wouldn't be surprised if this movie is 2 hours and 40 minutes. And I'd be so completely down with that.
Oh yeah.
Give it the room. Give it the room. They did it, and they did it so elegantly with Avengers. Like Joss Whedon was the first one. He was so able to balance it all and give every character their screen time and their moment and the balance of everybody. Nobody got really short shrift. Even fucking Hawkeye got a lot of love in that movie.
Whose superpower is just shooting arrows really well. Does he have an unlimited quiver? No, just regular
arrows.
So
and he even addressed it in Ultron. He said, I'm here shooting robots with arrows. What the hell am I doing here? Kind of thing.
Yeah, I wonder the same thing.
My favorite part of the trailer, fixed the biggest issue I've been having with the Marvel Universe is that Thanos has looked like a Muppet to me every movie he's been in, and they finally made him look better. You know, he's a big giant titan of a alien whatever.
With a slightly redesigned gauntlet.
Yes.
He went to a fancy place and got himself a really nice one.
Well, they addressed it in Ragnarok when Hela was going through the vault in Asgard. She's like, "Oh, this is a fake," knocked the Infinity Gauntlet out, because I think they threw that in as a just as like a little Easter egg in the first or second. It must have been in the second one, in the second Thor movie, and just to like the fans be like, "Oh my God, it's Infinity Gauntlet," and they're like, "Oh shit, well you already showed it." And they probably didn't think they were ever going to do Infinity War.
Never got that
So
far.
we got to wrap that shit up.
Exactly. Let's talk about the stones.
Yes.
All right, we got the Stone of Power.
Okay.
That's with Novacor,
Right.
and
right.
it's in his gauntlet in the trailer. I think Novacor's done fucked up,
Yeah.
and Glenn Close can do no wrong, but apparently she did wrong.
I'm surprised that we haven't, and we will. I'm predicting that we will see. There's a character from the Nova Corps who becomes a Marvel hero just called Nova,
Oh, okay.
and looks, wears what they wear. So I'm
Maybe it's the last survivor of Thanos's
Maybe.
reign of terror.
because that might be the beginning of the thing going after. Because none of that happened in Guardians 2, so
No.
we'll have to see it in Infinity War.
We've got the Space Stone. That's Loki's
Yep.
doing, because we saw it in the in Odin's vault.
Yep.
And he paused for a second, and then they cut away.
Well, he picked up the Tesseract. Yeah, that was.
That's what has the Space Stone in it.
Mm-hmm.
And we see in the trailer him kind of like here.
He's gonna fuck up, and he's gonna give it to Thanos.
Really?
Yeah.
Loki's gonna do that?
Yep.
I couldn't know.
It's all gonna be on him again.
He's gonna do bad, but then do you think he might in the end do something good?
Maybe
For the wrong reason, but do that? No? Okay. We'll see. So that's 2 stones down.
Yep.
And he's going to get a 3rd stone. He's going to pull it right out of the Vision's forehead.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That because the Vision ain't he doesn't really strike most people as the biggest badass on the planet.
He's pretty powerful.
But his powers are pretty significant.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like, why do you need to do hand-to-hand battle when you can
Phase through.
just
somebody.
phase through things? You can, shape-shift, mind, just all the stuff that he can do. But we see, was it Paul Bettany? Is that his name?
Yeah.
We see him with his honey, Scarlet Witch, kind of,
and looking like Paul Bettany.
exactly, with just a little glowing
With a-
void in his forehead.
I don't know if it's a holographic projection or if he's gotten some upgrades or what, but
Well, we'll see.
We'll
Because
see.
maybe that's after the stone was pulled. Maybe.
no, it was in there. You could still see it.
Well, no. Is it the stone that's still in there? Is it residual once the stone is
don't
in?
know.
We just know that he shows up as other than the Vision.
Yeah.
In his vision. Maybe he just didn't want to sit in a freaking chair for 6 hours
Every day.
I'm just like, all right, you did 6 hours. Now we got to shoot for 15. It's like, God damn it.
Uh-huh.
I got a mortgage. What am I going to do? Then we have the Reality Stone.
Okay.
Which I believe was given to the Collector by the Asgardians, if I'm not mistaken. Benicio del Toro's character.
Is that one, or is that the one that's in the Eye of Agamotto? In Doctor Strange's next.
No, his is the Time Stone.
Okay.
His is the Time Stone, and Doctor Strange has that.
Okay.
And which enters in the possibility, oh, wow, we just lost that war because of that. Okay. And now let's not do that.
Maybe or maybe not.
But I tell you got to be careful with that time stuff because, it lowers the stakes dramatically.
Yeah.
Because, oh, all right, we can just go back in time and fix it.
Yeah.
They address that kind of in Doctor Who because sometimes you can go back and sometimes you can.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's not really a set rule in that universe, in
We
the
don't know
Doctor
yet.
Who universe.
Doctor Who or Doctor Strange?
I'm talking about Doctor Who. I'm just talking about the ability to use time travel to undo horrific events or to avoid catastrophe.
Oh, in Doctor Who, it's actually you can't do it. Like you will,
But they have.
But they have, and it causes problems. There are paradoxes.
Right.
And there are
even 3 doxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then of course we have the Soul Stone. What? No one knows where that is.
Yeah.
It's buried in the forest inside of a mother box. No, that's
wrong.
A mother box.
So yeah,
so there's one stone where nobody knows where it is.
Nope. And
so the even if he gets all the other stones at the end of this film, I don't know what happens when he gets the other stone.
Well, he finishes the gauntlet, and he's basically
impervious to anything
or whatever. The most powerful thing. And from what I've read, or I was talking to a friend of mine who's read all the books, one of the guys I work with, and he said there is more to Thanos' motivation for getting the gauntlet than just all power. And I was like, I'm intrigued. He said, you should be. He said, you should read it. But he said, so I'm not going to tell you. I was like, okay, I might wait for the movie. But he said, it's more interesting than just cosmic power and I'm going to take over the universe. There's something more there, which is really intriguing to me.
Maybe he's gay and he has a thing for Sam Jackson.
Maybe. That would be interesting.
He's going to need the gauntlet to make that happen.
Right.
Because, that's not happening without massive amounts of power.
Right.
So that's our stone situation.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see if he gets the time stone by the end of this film.
Right. See, just going from story structure, there's a lot of ways that it can go, and that could be the end of the movie, him getting that stone and clicking it in, and what happens then, The movies that are scheduled after, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp, we have the Spider-Man sequel,
okay,
and there's not much on the docket after that.
Oh, really? Have we gone through that whole calendar already?
There was, let me see, Untitled Spider. Yeah, Guardians 3.
Yeah, that's at least. And I think that's going to be the last Guardians standalone. That's what they're doing a trilogy, and then they're not going to kill the characters or anything. But as far as Guardians films, that's probably going to be it. At least the last I heard. Who knows?
Maybe. Don't know.
I mean, 2 was definitely not as good as 1, but that's just because 1 was fresh and new. It was completely new
different
territory, so everything was like, you know. Now you've set such a high bar. 2 did okay.
I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was really
fine.
good.
It's just not as good as 1.
Okay.
And you know what? Deadpool 2 will probably not be as good as Deadpool 1 just because it won't be new. But judging by some of the advanced promotional shit I've seen.
Have you seen
holy
the trailer?
Crap.
The Bob Ross trailer.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm like, if they're leaning that far into just kicking ass and being wacky and fun, it could be Empire. It could be Superman 2. It could be
I think
Wrath
it's
of
just
Khan.
going to be crazy and fun. I think they just need to up. I think what they do in the comics is he totally breaks the fourth wall. He's completely insane. So there are no rules. Anything goes, and I think they need to do that in the movies. I think they have to even ratchet up what they've done.
Well, he broke the fourth wall constantly.
Right,
in the first
and I think
one.
they have to even go more than that. And
he already did 16 walls. How many walls do you need?
There could be more.
More walls?
More
oh
walls.
my gosh.
Yeah, the Bob Ross inspired trailer was so unbelievable. And then we got a nice little chunk we got to see a little tiny bit of Cable. We got to see Negasonic Teenage Warhead. She's back. She was so good in the first one.
Oh my gosh.
And just hold on. And then,
let me just finish this tweet, and then I'll be right, yeah.
Yep.
So that's good. Now, obviously it wasn't in the trailer. Are we going to see? We're not going to see Deadpool in Infinity War. Why?
No. He's still Fox. Fox still owns Deadpool.
So he's not under that umbrella.
Not yet.
Okay.
Maybe eventually, but
Okay.
I think we'll see more going the other way. I think if the Deadpool movie, if I think they'll do more Easter eggs in 2 with Marvel characters, like, or at least with like X-Men characters or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, because that they still haven't bridged that with Fox yet. Sony, they did the deal with Spider-Man.
Got a nice pair of smooth criminals, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were gunning hard to get Hugh Jackman. They were gunning hard. I don't think he acquiesced. I don't think he's coming back as Wolverine, but they were desperately trying to get him.
But you know what? If you do just a quick cameo, he wouldn't even have to dress up as Logan.
Right.
Just the fact that that actor was there in any capacity whatsoever.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't call him Wolverine, just, even passing on the street, and Deadpool turns and goes, and they cut away, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean,
that would be worth it.
I would be dead in my seat.
Completely.
I would lose.
Completely.
Oh my God, that would be it.
Enough.
You wouldn't even have to speak.
Right.
Pay him $40,000 to walk down the street for half an hour on one day on the set,
right,
and be done with it, and it would
kill.
It would kill.
It would destroy. He did a cameo in X-Men First Class.
I'm trying to remember. Oh yes.
Yeah, he did, where he was sitting at the bar and he was just like,
fuck off.
Yeah. And something to that effect would be absolutely amazing.
Oh, and Logan is, which I think you went and saw without me, didn't you?
I did see Logan.
Yeah. Well, it's coming on HBO next weekend, so I will finally see it for the first time.
It's pretty great.
Oh, everyone says it's great. I'm looking forward to it.
It's so different than anything, which is the smart thing to do. They made it like just a gritty movie. It's barely a superhero movie. It's just a drama. And
I'm very much in favor of quote unquote superhero films where you look and go, this could happen. I mean, there's no magical stones or parental boxes or weird psycho alien stuff. It's just some gritty shit going down with a little bit heightened sense of, shall we say, cosplay and alternate thinking. That exists. Let's do that.
Yeah, there's very little. I mean, there are definitely superhero elements in Logan, but it's more.
But in the origin,
no,
you're talking
in the film.
No.
I mean, there are. I mean, he's still Wolverine.
Well, yes, the big blades that come out of your hands.
Exactly.
Like, that's probably not something that happens in the real
world. There
world.
are things that don't happen in the real, but that's not the focus. It's not. It's not about that. It's about these characters and the drama. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And
Yes.
how do you convey these characters? What do you use to do that, Dan?
By the writing.
It's the writing. Oh my gosh. It's almost like the writers are basically the film. I mean, if you don't have the writing, you really don't. You can have a film. It'll suck.
Yeah.
But you'll have a film. Hey, maybe you pay the writers, properly.
Yeah. And you let them write a thing.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Don't focus group that shit into the ground.
Right.
No writer's perfect, but don't try to rewrite 80% of a script. And like if you're that unhappy with it, get someone else to write the script.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Saying.
The one thing we keep saying about DC has to like figure some shit out. The next move by them, from what I understand,
better be rebooting Green Lantern.
Not that big yet. I'm sure that's on the table. But what they're doing is they're going to do just like Disney, they're going to do a subscription service, an app with content, which
I will not subscribe to.
Which I probably will, because knowing them, what they're going to do is they'll probably pull all their CW shows over there, or they're not. I don't know about that, but they are definitely they have two things that are definitely happening. One is they're doing a Teen Titans show, and it's Greg Berlanti and Jeff Johns and all the heavy hitters who make. See, that's the one thing they're doing right, is the TV stuff. The TV stuff is great. They copped out on the whole not connecting the movies, like not having Grant Gustin as the Flash and Justice League, but they leaned into the at least in the show, they leaned into the the multiverse thing. So it's like, okay, and in season, I want to say 2 or 3 of the Flash, when he was jumping between worlds or running through time or whatever, they snuck in before they even got to Supergirl. When it was still on CBS, they snuck in a picture, an image of Supergirl. They showed images from the 90s Flash. So they do little bits and pieces like that. Yeah. They actually, on one of the more recent episodes of Supergirl, they did something that blew my mind. They did a flashback episode to Supergirl when she was growing up in what they call Midvale, and
when she was at that performing arts group in high school.
Performing arts group in high school.
In the Glee Club.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Ah, there you go.
Took me a second.
Bing, 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 bing. Wow.
With the Flash, he was on that show too.
Of course.
But what they did was it was her, and in the show, she's adopted, like Superman. She was sent to Earth to watch over Superman. She got knocked off course. He ends up on Earth. He grows up,
which is nice. The woman being sent to look over the dude,
right?
Nice,
but
touch.
She ends up being lost for a while and coming back, and she's younger than Superman and everything. What they did was, she's trying to solve a thing, and they need some computer help, and she says to her sister, Clark has a friend named Chloe who's good with computers. What? She even has a wall of weird at her that she does.
Did they bring her in?
They didn't bring her in. They mentioned it.
Okay.
And I was like, motherfucking Smallville reference.
Nice.
I was stunned. I was stunned that they actually were able to get that. They also did something on Arrow, which I never thought they would do. They were doing in the middle of something. Oliver is the mayor of Star City at this point, and he's going back and forth, and which happened in the comics. That was the thing.
Star City,
and again, he's being, they're accusing him of being the Green Arrow and blah blah blah, and he actually said in no uncertain terms, "Look, just because you had doesn't mean it's true. Do you really think that Bruce Wayne is running around at night in a would be running around in a costume as well?" Something like that. He made a reference to actually Bruce Wayne. I was like, wow, are they actually going to bring Batman into this?
No, they're not.
I don't know. They brought Superman in. He's actually on the show, and the guy they have on Supergirl. They do. They brought in,
like, showing his face in the whole bit.
They cast the guy, and he's great. He's exactly what Superman needs to be.
Better than Cavill?
I think so.
I am.
He's joyful, and he's powerful, and he's fun and funny, and he's exactly what he's not all emo. And
he's not a grouchy Gus.
No, he's
listening
not.
to the Smiths and the Cure before he goes into battle.
So all those guys who run those shows are working on Titans. So I'm wondering if that's going to tie in, and that's Robin and Raven and Starfire and all stuff. And they're not bringing Cyborg in. He's from Teen Titans,
right?
Because the Justice League, I don't know. But the other thing,
he's grown up now.
Yeah, the other thing they're doing is they're going to do an animated Harley Quinn series that got announced.
Yeah.
Which could be great if they let the right people do it. If they let Bruce Timm and Paul Dini do it the right way. They say they're going after Margot Robbie to do the voice. I don't think they're going to get her.
You never know.
She might. She really likes the character, and she's the one who's been developing a standalone.
Right. She may say, listen, until I choose to not do this, anything Harley related, I want to be a part of.
Which would be great.
And since I have no control of you doing this cartoon or not, I'm going to be the voice because I am going to be Harley.
Which would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's how you world
And let me
build.
tell you, man, that voiceover money, it is, I'm not going to say it's the easiest work in the world, but it's a lot easier than spending 16 hours a day on a film set. And the pay is commensurate with
it is if you're a celebrity, if you're a name. I mean,
she's Harley Quinn.
Well, right, but I mean the voiceover actors, they make a good living, but they don't make they won't make Margot Robbie money,
No. I mean, I think the last time I want to say checked, but heard, most of the principal voice actors on The Simpsons, which of course that's a whole nother story. That's 25 plus years.
Right.
They make about $300,000 per episode.
Right.
Which is kind of a ripoff because Harry Shearer does like 17 characters.
Yeah.
And like I think was it Yardley Smith?
Yardley Smith. She does Lisa.
Does Lisa,
and that's it.
That's it. She does that, and that's the only one.
Yeah, I think Nancy Cartwright does like 4 or 5.
Yeah, there's not.
But between Hank Azaria and
Dan Castellaneta
and Harry Shearer, they do a gazillion voices.
That's like 2/3 of the entire.
Yeah, Julie Kavner only does 3 basically.
Yeah.
She does Marge and her sisters, Selma and Patty, and that's it.
And let's face it, it's
kind of the same voice.
It's the same voice, and you just gravel it up a bit.
Marge, please.
You know what the most difficult voice to do on the Simpsons is?
What?
Dr. Marvin Monroe. Harry Shearer is there's.
I think that's why they killed him off.
Well, the thing is that they killed him off, but then they referenced him later on.
Yeah.
So he's not necessarily dead.
Oh.
It's a whole weird thing. But the reason why they just don't use him almost ever is because it's brutal on Harry Shearer's voice.
Right.
And you got to figure the guy must be closing in on 70 by now.
Harry Shearer, yeah.
Getting close to it. Maybe mid 60s. You know, because
mid to late for sure.
Yeah. So at a certain point, it's like I can't. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, Mel Blanc did voices all the way up till practically the day he died, but it's not the same as trying to run around and fight aliens in your 70s, which I'm sure Harrison Ford will be doing in some reboot of something, and that he's I don't know.
Yeah, George O'Hanlon, who was George Jetson, actually died in the recording studio.
Did he really?
On that movie, the Jetsons movie they did in 1990, which was
the one with Tiffany.
Right,
oh,
right.
Dear.
Everybody else was the original voices, and poor Candy Milo, who did the original Judy Jetson, got shafted. But yeah, he died in the studio, which is rough.
That's you know what? But if that's I would, if I can't go in my sleep, I would love to go doing something that I love doing.
Yeah.
Or doing something that I was at least known for.
Right.
Even if I wasn't particularly. It's like it's a paycheck. It's what everyone knows. Hey, he died doing that thing.
Right.
Like, oh, that's sad. Yeah. Well, that's how he made his money. Like, okay. So getting back to Infinity War.
Yeah.
Notice that that interesting shot of Banner in a crater that looks like he got sent through 3 dimensions to be but he's Banner. So I'm wondering if Thanos hit him so hard he de-hulked.
Maybe.
I mean, they're not messing around with Thanos here. It's not like,
It's either
it sounds like I'm fighting like when in Justice League, Wonder Woman could go toe to toe with Steppenwolf and they were fighting, it was back. I have a feeling with Thanos, it's like, I'm coming to get you, boom, and you're out. That's it. You've been knocked into a wall, you're unconscious. It's not like, you got the best of me for a second, but I got you now. It's going to be so overwhelming. Like, why are you even trying with conventional, you're not going to punch me. You notice that we see a new Hulkbuster suit.
Yeah.
I don't think that's for busting the Hulk.
No, it is not.
That's for busting some Thanos.
Yeah.
And we don't know if he succeeds in that.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense that he would, he knocked the Hulk out, and that's why he de-hulked. He hit him. He hit him that hard. Yeah, Thanos hit the Hulk so hard.
I mean, when you think about it, Tony Stark is just Hawkeye with better tech.
Yeah.
There's no superpowers there.
No.
I'd say, half of the entire Avengers are without regular powers.
Black Widow doesn't really have
Black
abilities.
Widow, Hawkeye, and Iron Man, regular people,
Pretty much, yeah.
with skills or tech.
Yeah.
Then you got Thor and the Hulk and
Captain America.
and Captain. Captain America.
Super soldier.
Yeah,
So he
and-
does have
yeah.
abilities.
Yeah, exactly.
But-
kind of regular, but he's not shooting lasers. He's
No,
not
no.
mind controlling. He's just kick-assery,
Right.
is basically.
And
In the trailer, Bucky's back.
Bucky is back.
Bucky's back.
Bucky's back.
How's that arm feeling, Bucky?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's in he's with Black Panther. And what's the name of the country again?
Wakanda.
Wakanda.
Yeah.
He's in Wakanda.
Maybe that's where he's hiding. Maybe that's maybe that's where they split to, you know.
Or maybe, it's like, we got our ass kicked, but we're going to regroup. We're going to do it. Hey, Bucky's here.
Yeah.
Let's, hey.
Well,
and we may not see half of the people that are going to eventually be battling Thanos until maybe round 2 with him.
Yeah.
When they regroup in Wakanda, like, oh, look, you're here, and you're here, and hey, I brought some friends. It's a fucking tree and a raccoon.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? You got a D-cell and a quart of Vaseline?
Yeah.
I'm going to fuck this guy up.
Yeah.
Okay. Wouldn't that be just great?
Rocket's
If
the one who
Rocket is
does
the
it.
one that takes Thanos, if not out, takes him down.
Yeah. That would be amazing.
You got to be careful though, because this is an Avengers film, not a Guardians. So if Thanos goes down, even if it's temporarily, I don't think it should be done comically. He can take some hits comically, but what actually takes him down needs to have some gravitas.
Oh, for
to
sure,
it.
sure.
So,
but if Rocket's able to do something to really piss him off,
and make him make a mistake.
make a mistake, yeah.
Exactly.
That's what we need.
Or distract him while
Yeah, completely.
someone, while Doctor Strange comes with a time thing and, reverses time to where he's a little baby Thanos or something like
or
that.
something, yeah.
You know.
Or just alters reality enough that he can't, get out of something. I don't
Exactly.
know. There's plenty of things to do.
Well, there was a concept that was introduced in one of the first episodes of the Orville. Are you watching that?
yes.
I almost stopped because it wasn't funny enough for a comedy and it wasn't dramatic enough for a drama, but it has settled in nicely.
I really enjoy it.
It's settled in nicely. So
There's
I'm,
enough funny with Seth MacFarlane and Scott Grimes. That there's a couple of good laughs, but I really enjoy. I mean,
Yeah, I look at it as kind of like Indiana Jones in the sense that Indiana Jones is not a comedy,
right?
but it has a few bits where like that's hilarious, like
Yeah.
the sword and then he shoots him, and
Yeah,
you're like that's hilarious, but it's not a comedy. I went in with the wrong preconception because the trailers they would do for the
Well, and the
series
pedigree. I
made
mean,
it
it's
look
Seth
like
MacFarlane.
you think it's going to be basically Family Guy in space,
Yeah.
and it's not. It's basically
Star Trek
The Next Generation with a few more jokes, not many more, because Next Generation had its own little bits of comedy and absurdity where you're like, and mostly it was Data
for the most part, yeah,
and
Riker to a degree,
to some degree.
He was more of a like smarmy dick,
Yeah.
but it worked,
as Smarmy Dick. When's that superhero coming in?
Smarmy dick.
I've been defeated by smarminess. And of course, in the Orville, we have Data. It's just I'm convinced it's Data. He's just in the.
I swear, the first 2 episodes, I was like,
It's the same voice.
I was like, it's not the same
know,
actor, but
I
I was
know.
like, the first episode, I
sounds
was like,
like
did
Brent
they get
Spiner.
fucking Brent Spiner to do the voice?
I tell you, it's.
Well,
yeah,
they already had a callback. They had on one of the last episodes, they had Alara's parents on. And Alara's father was played by Robert Picardo, who was the holographic doctor on Voyager.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, they're going to do it. They're going to do it.
They're probably good because they have to. Obviously, they know that they are pulling.
Well, they're just doing Star Trek. That's just what it is.
So
And
just get some cameos
into it,
for
yeah.
people that are in the know. You're probably not going to get the bridge crew to cameo, but some of the B characters.
he's really good friends with Patrick Stewart.
Well, yeah, he does.
He's on American Dad,
yeah.
and he's been on Family Guy.
Yeah.
So how insane would that? It's already gotten a second season.
That-
they re-upped it.
That could be interesting.
So imagine him showing up on that show. It would be ridiculous.
That would up the comedy factor.
Yes.
You know.
Let him play something completely insane.
Yeah. Something completely
so far away
non-Picard.
from Picard.
Like the anti-Picard.
Yeah, don't make him an admiral. Make him, some lunatic
Make him the
alien.
janitor on another ship.
Absolutely. The crazy old janitor.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
That would be great. Now, the reason I thought of the Orville, because one of the plot devices in one of the episodes, you remember this, was the time bubble. Remember
Yes.
that?
Yeah.
That's a potent weapon.
Absolutely.
I mean, you'd have to blow them up. You just either age them until they die or take them back to their infancy.
yeah.
It's like, what's that? Oh, that's an egg and a sperm on the ground. Wow, you took the time bubble away.
Yeah.
You put
And that was the whole
Thanos in
point
a
of that.
time bubble,
Yeah.
So who knows if the time stone does it reverse everyone's time? Can he project a time bubble? I mean, we don't know what the time stone
What
can
its
necessarily
capabilities
do.
are.
So that's a great weapon.
Yeah.
I mean, of all the stones, that's the one I would choose if it has that ability.
Yeah.
It's like, there's my foe, and now you've just aged 200 years to dust. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it. I mean, it would make for a very boring film.
Right.
It's like, and the film's over in 7 minutes.
Right.
Wow. That's why you have to put Hulk elsewhere in certain parts of the Marvel universe in some of their films.
Right.
Even in Avenger films.
Because again, that's why he's not in Civil War,
Yeah.
because whoever has the Hulk wins.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, we've got a Hulk.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. So final thoughts on the trailer.
Oh, it's going to be a game changer. I mean, it's
Well, yeah, because we're going to lose a number of, and it can't be like we lost Scarlet Witch. Who gives a shit?
yeah.
They haven't even developed Scarlet Witch. She could be
Right.
awesome.
No,
It needs to be some main. I'm talking. We need to lose a Hulk. We need to. We need to lose a Hawkeye, or maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well,
Nothing.
they already set up like a new Avengers basically with I guess it was the end of Ultron when
Yeah. Well, you got Scarlet Witch.
Witch
You've got
and Cap.
the Spirit.
the Vision.
The Vision.
Spirit there is a character. that's Spirit. Yeah. But I mean Vision and Scarlet Witch and Captain America and they already are like had planted those seeds
And of course, Marvel is so good. Feige is so good at orchestrating this stuff. I'm sure that he knows the intentions, contractually and otherwise, of what the actors want to do. And he goes, "All right, so we're going to lose the actor for that. I'm not recasting that, at least not in this continuum. I mean, if we lose Iron Man, we could get Iron Man back in 10 years for something else, but we're not going to recast him here. So if RDJ is out after Infinity War, then we're going to kill him in Infinity War."
Yeah.
That makes the stakes epic.
Yeah, and they have to do that. They have to start taking out the
We need to
characters.
lose a minimum of one Avenger, preferably two.
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna be more than that. I really do.
Well, in this film, if they are arcing it into two parts, we're definitely going to lose one Avenger in this one.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna lose a lot of characters too. But I think I think there are one or two of the main characters are gonna go for sure.
Right.
And
It's just whether they go in this film or if they're doing two parts. Now, if they're doing a 3-hour film, they may have said, you know what? Let's
can
make
do
this one monster motherfucking film.
one epic.
Exactly. So we'll.
I read a thing that Feige said something to the effect of, "We've got it planned out for the next 10 years. Like we know what other movies we're doing in the next 10 years. Like they didn't release it, but like we know where we're going."
Because just saying what you're going to do can alter people's viewing of the films you're doing now.
Oh, exactly.
Like, hold it. If you're going to be doing that, how can you do
what?
That?
Yeah.
And it messes up your head for what you're watching now.
It can just literally spoil.
Right.
It's like, oh, well, if they're doing that, this character is going to be alive.
Exactly. So, and that's the thing that's difficult for people in this new age of such specific industry information available on the internet, where you can look and see, oh, okay, they've got these 3 films lined up through 2020, so they're obviously not going to be in that film,
Yeah.
or the contract negotiations are made public by the guy or the girl's agent, and all of a sudden, like, oh, there's problems with negotiating, let's say, Robert Downey Jr.'s thing. Oh, okay, well, maybe they're just going to say to hell with it and write, all this information is out there. That's why I thought it was really cool that they did not put Henry Cavill in the opening credits of Justice League.
Right.
Because, I mean, everyone knew, because it wasn't, you knew he was going to come back. But you're watching that, you're waiting for that name, you're like, oh, huh.
And he wasn't in the posters.
Yeah. Now, of course, they did the trailer, and you don't know if it's a flashback or if it's a dream sequence or what
they made
it
it
is.
completely look like a dream sequence.
Yeah. So.
But again, most of that shit didn't make the movie. That whole scene didn't make it.
Well, yeah, when you reshoot 40% of the film.
Yeah.
Which, good. At least they realized they had problems. Now, you do reshoots, and then the reshoots cause problems, or it doesn't fix the original problems. It's, I'm sure Joss Whedon probably ran up against a budget where they went, okay, no, enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We're already spending probably $500,000, if not more, to CGI out a fucking mustache. But we got to do it, so...
Yeah, I read a thing where they said, like, some of the VFX guys were like, yeah, that's fucking terrible, and we know it, and they wouldn't either let us fix it. Like they said, the one interview, I mean, it could be internet bullshit, but the one guy said, I can't believe they allowed that opening shot with him on the cell phone. Like he said, and no, they're not going to let us fix it for the Blu-ray. He said,
oh, really? Because that's where I was going. Like, they were going to say,
again, this is unnamed sources or whatever.
Right.
But he said basically, no, that's there's your movie, and they won't spend the money to fix it for the Blu-ray.
It must be a financial issue.
Yeah.
Because, no offense to how people perceive or experience a film for the first time, but there are definitely people who see it in the theater, and then there's people who come to it sometimes 20, 30 years later. The Justice League from 2017. Let's go watch that. They're not going to a theater.
Yeah.
They're going to the Blu-ray.
Right.
That's the final record. Fix it in the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
No one's going to say, "Oh man, that's not the Justice League that I saw." You fixed it. Oh, you fixed it. Okay, we're fine with that.
Well, I think for them it's all financial. It's like they're barely going to make a profit on it as it is.
I haven't checked the Justice League box office for this week. But yeah, the 170 total I had the last time, that was just domestic. It's made over 400 million.
Yeah, it's made its money back to it's made profit, but still,
it's done well.
It's done okay.
It's still
I'm sure it's probably up around 500 at this point, and which is, they said there were reports that with the reshoots, I mean, it was closing in on 300 million.
Oh, for the budget?
Yeah, and
I just checked, and as of this recording, Justice League is at $567 million.
Okay.
Which is not bad. It's still number 2 at the box office, so that's, at least for this weekend.
Right.
I mean, not for like year-over totals. I don't know what that is.
No,
but, I mean, it's doing respectable. $500 million in ticket sales. Not bad.
Right, but they wanted closer to $1 billion for sure.
They will get there, but it's going to have home video factored in, and pay-per-view and the whole bit. They'll probably get there.
I wonder if it's world, like if it's hit China or the foreign markets yet. I mean, I know it hit like a lot of the foreign markets, but I don't know. That's always that's the thing now, is like, it hasn't opened in China yet.
Well, Box Office Mojo definitely breaks that down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just checked, and it's done $84 million in China.
That's not a lot for China.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest market. That's the biggest amount of money that a single country has done outside of the United States. So.
Wow. Yeah, well, it's so
it's not a flop.
It's not a flop.
It's not. Let's put it this way: the box office makes it a hit. Their costs to get to that film with reshoots and all stuff.
And marketing.
Marketing is, that's going to happen for anything. But I'm talking about the problems, the reshoots and stuff that added and added and added. That's where they're going to run into trouble. But the thing is that if they hadn't done the reshoots, who knows? Maybe the word of mouth would have been so epically bad. Because Rotten Tomatoes, the critics are going, nah, not really. And the audiences are going, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And they're not enthusiastic, but they're like, okay, I had a good time. It was fun, which is what my opinion was.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, there was not very many moments where I just went, oh, God, really?
Right.
But there wasn't too many moments where I was like, oh, yeah.
Exactly.
You
there
know?
was some really great stuff that I really enjoyed, but it's almost barely a movie. It's a bunch of cool stuff together. That's kind of got a through line, kind of,
Yeah, well,
but I still really did enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, and my hope is that they will find the money to just fix some of the bad CGI, mustache included, on the Blu-ray. That's the definitive version. You can fix it for the pay-per-view, for the, there's no reason that theatrical version has to be the final word.
Right.
Says the guy that wants to punch George Lucas in the face. I mean, there's tweaking errors, and then there's drastically rewriting history.
Yes.
I mean, changing the color of the lasers that the TIE fighters shoot to match, what they're supposed to shoot because they didn't do it right the first time, not a problem.
Right.
Han not shooting first, big problem. Massive problem.
Big problem.
So, then we get into the realm of, did you create Star Wars, Michael? Sometimes I feel like I did because I'm so in tune with it. It's so much a part of, a part of my psyche. But no, I did not create Star Wars, so the creative types can do whatever they want. Who's to say if Van Gogh didn't finish Starry Night and then go, no, let me do some more on it. And that's what we know. And that's the masterpiece. Who knows?
Yeah,
who knows?
But there's a difference between that and, him showing it to the world and then doing it and going, but I'm going to put a tree here now.
A tree?
That's what I mean.
There's no tree in Starry Night.
Exactly. That's my point.
Right. It's not as if he took the painting around to like every house in the village, everywhere in the country.
The painting as it was, and then he came in and said, "Well, but I didn't. I'm going to fix this now."
Right.
And then this, and then this, and then it's a different painting.
Or maybe the great grandfather of Neil deGrasse Tyson said, "That's not the right alignment of those stars. That's bullshit.
That's not what stars look like.
You gotta fit exactly. What kind of drugs are you on? That's not what stars look like at all." Speaking of stars, we talked a little bit about Brie Larson being Captain Marvel in a couple of years. Do you remember the 80s sitcom Facts of Life?
Of course.
Okay. Apparently, the baddie for Captain Marvel is going to be...
Medication time. Medication time.
We ran out of time. I will tell you next week.
The Nine Billion Names of Pod was conceived, written, and performed by Michael Reed and Dan Bauman, with Abdul Benny Hassan as the sound of splintering wood. Research, transportation, and exasperated looks by Courtney Loner. Technical assistance by Cubase, Pro Tools, Skynet, QLab, Beatcloud, Big Brother, and Eddie, your shipboard computer. Financial consideration provided by the Wayne Foundation, Stark Industries, the Piranha Brothers, and LexCorp. Legal counsel by the offices of Howard & Fine. I can just see the mayor of New York when that big ring shows up, like, again?
Go bother some other city.
Our intro music is written by Tim Akers. This podcast is sponsored by Deep Track Records and is a production of Audio Primate. Throw us a couple stars on iTunes, why don't you? Listen, watch on YouTube, listen on SoundCloud, stream us on Stitcher, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or email us, comlink@billionpod.com. Until this happens again, I'm Dan Bauman.
I'm Michael Reed.
Hello, Z.
Audio Primate.